Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's day is Thursday the 12th of June 2025, the year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai or your post put on chain. Let's see what we've got today. We've got this epic post from CSW with regard to tulips. Look at that. Is this a metaphoric message? He says, all must end on BTC, fading tulips and the inevitable quiet. Oof. Another one here with the CSW just talking about the Captain BSV profile, which now seems to have been taken down. The profile now no longer exists. Got some posts here from Cointelegraph, some articles here from CoinGeek, which we'll just have a look at. We'll have a quick look at the price. Looks like it's tumbling after that interview yesterday that CSW did with Sally Mayweather, Sally Algorist. But on the back of that, though, we've got a whale that just bought 20,000 BSV, costing him $700,000. $700,000, and I found the wallet. That wallet has currently got 1.8 million, 1.8 million genuine Bitcoin in it. Someone knows something. We've got some 365 days of Bitcoin history, and then that'll be the end of the show. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, and transactions flying free. Just wait for the terror node, you'll surely see.
Here we go. Right, let's get into this article from CSW. He said, all must end on BTC, fading tulips and the inevitable quiet. The tulips are fading. They sit there in their glass tomb, petals curled like fists gone slack after a long, pointless sermon to the sun. They do not rot with age, nor scream with colour. They simply collapse inward, heavy with the memory of having once mattered. They were arranged, admired, positioned like hope at a child's at a child's recital, and now they bow their heads in silence. This is what all frenzies become when the applause stops. Drooping sculpture, delicate decay, something vaguely embarrassing to look at, too long. BTC was once bright too, like those first Dutch tulips before the ledger cracked. Sold not as flowers but as futures, like ponies frolicking under the absurd assumption that the pasture would remain eternal. The grass green, the watchers benevolent. It galloped under banners of liberation, of maths as God, of scarcity as salvation. But the ponies forgot what fences were built for, their mystic movement for meaning. What began as a revolution calcified into speculative theatre, as all revolutions do when governed not by builders but by flippers. It is no longer a tool, it is a totem, traded not because of what it does, but because of what it represents to those who need something to believe in. The chains grow, but the purpose shrinks. The fees rise, the rhetoric repeats. Core changes the code and still calls it gospel, and the whole thing now droops under the weight of its own denial. A tulip can't lie. When its time is done, it shows you. BTC doesn't have that dignity. It drags its narrative forward, guised up in layer 2s and philosophical makeup. The devs chant decentralized like monks with no monastery. The traders kneel before the price ticker like pagans to eclipses. And meanwhile, the original promise that it could be used as digital cash lies buried beneath years of PR, necromancy and protocol betrayal. Ponies die, even the wild ones, especially the wild ones. This is not despair, this is truth. A truth does not need to rage, it simply waits. When the lights are down and the exit doors locked and the breathless speculators are finally bored of rearranging digital chairs on a ship that never needed a helm, it will be there. The quiet realization that usefulness is value. Absolutely. If something is useful, it's valuable. If something is useless, it's worthless. That's it. He said that's what can't be used as artifice, and that the flower, no matter how exotic, must feed or fade. That's very true. Loving that one. The flower, no matter how exotic, must feed or fade. Loving that. So let them cling to the vase. Let them say it still holds promise, even as the petals flake like old myths. Let them rebrand decay as maturity. Meanwhile, a build elsewhere quietly where things still work and truth still bites. The tulips are fading, the ponies are still, and the promises, like all things untethered from reality, must end. Ooh, read into that what you will. But if I were you, I would be reading between the lines on that article. I would probably read that again very carefully. Oof, oof. The messages are in there. You can't say he didn't tell you. Can't say he didn't warn you either. You know, jeepers. Right, let's see what else he says about this Captain BSV profile. So he said, imagine puffing your chest out and shouting a threat so limp it folds under its own idiocracy. Do X or I'll expose you. And X, X, is you exposing yourself. That's not leverage, that's masturbation in a hall of mirrors. You're not holding a sword, you're waving a wet noodle and calling it Excalibur. You've built your ultimatum on the assumption that the shame is a currency I trade in, that I fear illumination. But here's the rub. I wrote the bloody script. I lit the stage. I've already walked naked through the fire. So your threat, it's not a blade. It's a confession of weakness, of ignorance, or of your sad, trembling need to matter. Do your worst, but at least make it logical. It's a shame we can't see what that was in response to. Is he saying whoever it was that behind this profile made a threat to him or something like that? I don't know, or maybe is he referring to a threat that the post was referring to? I'm not sure. We can't see it, unfortunately. But either way, the profile is gone as the profile predicted it would be, for potentially uncovering a bribe, a $75 million bribe paid during the Copa case. You know, will it come back? Who knows? Did a show on it the other day, but you know, could this just be a saga? You know, another one of these stories, you know, in the history of Bitcoin? Who knows? Who knows? Time will tell. Right, Cointelegraph says here, developer accuses Ethereum Foundation of undermining devs, creating secret teams. Oh, surprise, surprise. Yeah, secret teams that can go in through the back doors, the built-in back doors. So Peter Zelagny, a former Ethereum Foundation employee and lead Geth developer, said the organization repeatedly undermined his team. A lead developer of the Geth Ethereum client has accused the Ethereum Foundation of secretly creating and funding a second Geth developer team. The Geth client is the software used by validators to execute Ethereum transactions. According to an ex-post by core developer Peter Zelagny, the organization undermined the Geth development team in several ways, including encouraging the developers to work at other firms, proposed salary cuts, and offering $5 million for the team to spin off into a private company. Zelagny wrote on a Wednesday ex-post, he said the Ethereum Foundation started and funded a second Geth team inside Nethermind. 100% independent fork from us with no intended collaboration, according to Josh Stark, and they didn't tell either me, Felix or Martin until I found out on November 2025. Well, we're only June 2025. So, he corrected the year further down the chain. I'll write in 2024. Yeah, whatever. The Geth developer said he was fired from the Ethereum Foundation following a one-on-one meeting with Josh Stark, a representative for the foundation, where they confronted Stark about the second secret Geth team. So when you're talking about these second Geth teams working on it, I mean, this is literally classic Mossad behavior. So this to me sounds like Ethereum has been well and truly infiltrated by Mossad, the secret service. That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, so here we go. Look, this is what he said. He said, I dare you, the entire Ethereum Foundation, to say that you didn't offer 5 million for us to spin out all that Ethereum Foundation didn't ask at least 3 times if we wanted to make a company instead and go off. Just me and Felix, and push back, and I dare them to deny our Feb talk. I'd say, mate, you better watch your back. I think you just need to shut your mouth and get out of there. That's what I'd do. Oof. Cointelegraph reached out to the Ethereum Foundation for a comment but hadn't received a response by the time of publication. The allegations follow leadership changes at the Ethereum Foundation and a series of initiatives aimed at promoting the blockchain protocol to institutional investors to renew interest in the Ethereum network. Ethereum Foundation lays off staff, pivots funding strategy. On June 2nd, the foundation announced staff cuts. The revamped its core developer team to focus on scaling the protocol. Yeah, good luck with that. Increasing, I think that's meant to be block space, but they called it blob space. And improving Ethereum's user experience, which critics have long argued is too complex for the average person. The Ethereum Foundation also pivoted to a funding strategy driven by yield from decentralized finance. Oh my god. Lending and borrowing as proposed to its traditional method for selling ETH on the open market to fund operations. As part of the new treasury strategy, the foundation will also produce regular finance reports, outline operational costs and current reserves to provide transparency to the community on the organization's budgeting. Naughty, honestly. Ethereum sounds like an absolute snake pit. An absolute snake pit. Especially with those boys involved now. Oof. We always knew they would be. But this is classic behaviour from what you'd expect from 3-letter agency type organisations. Jeepers. The next one, the Cointelegraph said the NFT market is silently becoming infrastructure. So they said, while headlines proclaim the NFT market's demise, NFTs are quietly shifting from speculative assets to essential digital infrastructure. NFTs are moving beyond speculation to underpin gaming, AI and Web3. But again, the only thing that NFTs can actually, the only network they can run on is BSV, because BSV is the only way to secure data. So an NFT is a form of digital data, a digital token, and if you want that digital token to have any fundamental value whatsoever, it has to be on a commoditized network that doesn't have any central point of authority, control or failure, which means it can't be cracked, hacked, altered, changed or deleted. And the only network that provides that is the genuine Bitcoin, with the number one legacy addresses, which has the ticker symbol BSV. That's it. Some argue that NFTs are dead. Others are holding out on for the speculative art boom to return with the next market cycle. Honestly, market cycles, blah 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 blah. We get the gist of it. I'm not going to read all of that because we know what NFTs are and what they're used for at the moment, which is just absolute BS. Right, CoinGeek then. So CoinGeek got some articles here saying BSV combating AI and deepfake misinformation. How T guarantees trust in accounting. I saw a triple entry video on that the other day. Ageless Republic is an open world MMORPG built for Web3. Bitcoin halving, a look into BTC hash rate surges implications. Let's have a quick look at this one about T. What's this? How T guarantees trust in accounting. Traditional accounting systems are notorious for fraud and errors, especially double-entry bookkeeping. In today's economy, enterprises need a clear picture of their finances to save money where they can, and for this they need 100% accurate information. With all the frontier technology available today, enterprise must find a way to guarantee their books are accurate, both for themselves and for auditors. Ironically, the solution lies in a concept that was fleshed out by Ian Grigg in 2005. But before we get there, let's examine the shortcomings of double-entry accounting. Yeah, so I think Ian Grigg was actually saying that double-entry accounting is an opinion, whereas triple-entry accounting kind of like it makes it fact. Because you've got something verifying the two opinions, the input, the output on an open source ledger. That's the sort of third party, really. The first one is the oldest one, which is that you can have several books. You can show one book to the tax authority, and you can show another set of books to the bank, and they could be different. Shared form auditor, Torg Vingen Sud, co-founder and CTO of Abendon. The other shortcomings of double entry accounting is that they are in data silos. They don't talk together, he said. Blockchain and the artificial intelligence AI expert Konstantinos Sangatos said of the environmental sector of Megalopolis Lignite Miner Directorate, is also a close friend of Griggs and greatly admires his work. When asked to elaborate on the shortcomings of double entry accounting, Gagtos described it as an opinion rather than truth. It's my opinion that my book says that, and that is true. And your book is your opinion, and we need to sync our opinions. So it is my word versus yours. And if it happens to me, I lose the book. What happens? I must accept your truth from mine. This is what he told CoinGeek. According to Grigg, double entry accounting simply represents the founder's view of the company's situation. It's not reality, he said. The solution to these challenges associated with the traditional accounting system can be found with the triple entry accounting. That's what T is, triple entry accounting. A concept Grigg is the co-inventor of. Oh, awesome. Awesome. I haven't got time to go through that, but that's great. Probably read that myself on my own time. 16 minutes gone. Let's have a quick look at this then. So look at this. After the interview that Sally Algrist, really great interview actually, that he did with CSW last night, which I watched this morning, it looks like they've tried to push the price down. Look at that. So we're now at $36 or $30.61. Oof. Look at that. That's quite a long time low. Last time it was below that was April 25th, and it started going up. Then they're just pushing it down again. All it is, they're trying to dictate market sentiment, is all it is. I would describe it as pathetic, absolutely pathetic. But check this out. So BSV Social Impact said here, or BSV Simp, he said the biggest whale just bought another 20k BSV. Check it out. Check it out. That's the overall wallet. And this is the recent purchase. We've got 20,533 Bitcoin. And I found the address here actually. There we go. So that's the recent transaction there. Oh, so he spent whoever it was 628,645 USD on that transaction for 20,000 Bitcoin. Look at that, amazing. So they bought in May as well. Bought twice in May. 3 times in May. 4 times in May. Wow, look at that. Somebody is stacking coins big time. Big time. Look at that. So we've got a balance of 1.8 million. 1.8 million. Total received 12 million. Spent 10.5 million. Leaving a balance of 1.8 million. Wow. That is a big address. Right, let's have a quick look at the 365 days of Bitcoin history, with it being the 12th today. On the 12th of June 2009, we've got a quote here saying, the peer-to-peer currency could be considered as a slogan. And I was CSW emailing Marty Malmy talking about how they could market it. But also on the 12th of June 2011, on this day in 2011, the price of Bitcoin fell to 1 cent after a hack on the Mt. Gox exchange. Look at that. Look at that. Although that looks like 10 cents. But look, that was a hack on the Mt. Gox exchange. Wow. Wow. And June 12th, 2020, Samsung Mao posts, fake Toshi's lawyers are sending this email around. And he's laughing at this email. This was from Ontier. I can't quite read it. But I do remember that letter coming out. I might have to enlarge that. But it was to do with again bringing a lawsuit, which they mocked again, which I can't remember if this was related to the Ira Climate case. I think it probably was, or it was either Ira Climate, Peter McCormack, or Hodler back in those days. Probably too early for the Cobra case. But yeah, there we go. That is a 20-minute show. We'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed it. So as ever, if you enjoyed these updates, please ding your donations for your appreciation to either Satoshi@Sendme.com, Handcash.io, RockWallet.me, Simply.cash, Related.com, or Senti.ch. We'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed it. And as ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
2 years ago, you got SegWit, which we lied and cheated and stealed, and I was part of the lying and cheating and stealing to get SegWit, to get Lightning, which, by the way, had critical vulnerabilities and lost people's money.
The king still has one more move.
Remember, Bitcoin is BSV. Everything else is BS.